quickly, just before we get into this video, I just want to let you guys know that this is not a positive video. This video is full of triggers, and if you are sensitive to, you know, certain things, you probably shouldn't watch this video. And I just want to give you that little, you know, disclaimer just ahead of time. So please enjoy the video. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Okay, bye. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So I've been putting this video off for so long. I know that you guys have been wanting a life after type of video after being kidnapped and stuff, and I put it off because that shit was a really traumatic experience and I don't want to relive it. But like at that moment, I just felt really compelled to you know, share my story and kind of express how I feel. And I'm gonna ramble and try to low-key put it off again, but I'm gonna just tell you life after. Okay, I really don't like reliving, you know, bad situations. It's not, I understand like you have to get past it and you have to not let it affect you, but I don't want to just live that shit like every day, you know. So I kind of give myself a chance to come around to it and feel ready, and I feel ready. So I wrote down like some questions, some of your most asked questions, and I also just wrote down like life after, like how life was after, you know, that happening. So but before I tell you that really quickly, I do want you guys to know that I have been writing some books. I've been writing like a poetry book, and I've been writing like a non-fiction book that's like heavily based on reality that I'm debating on putting out because I've been writing poetry for a long time. I wrote my first book probably in like 3rd grade, but I've always been nervous to kind of share my work and, you know, share that. But yeah, I might have some books coming out, but you know, we'll see. The number one like most asked question was what happened to A? Like what was she doing? How did she feel like when you didn't show up to her house? Like did she, you know, what happened? Well, to be honest with you, I don't know what the hell happened to A. Do I think she set me up? I kind of don't, but I honestly don't know, you know. But I don't want to think that's what, you know, my friend did to me, because she wasn't that kind of person, or at least at the time she wasn't that kind of person. So I don't really think that she set me up. I think that she just probably met the wrong person, but I could be wrong. I'm just telling you like what I think, and that's what I think. The next question is, how is me and my mom's relationship? Our relationship is really good. We have a good relationship. Like after that happened, I feel like that experience, you know, bonded us more. Even though I went in a downward spiral after that, like I just went, you know, in a really dark place in my life, we still like had a good bond and stuff. And you know, I just lost myself after that. So seeing my mom, when I saw my mom after I came out of the hotel room, we cried. Like we cried. We were happy to be reunited, and we weren't mad at each other anymore or anything. We just, you know, it was like, you know, like when you finally reunite with someone and you know that they're in danger, like all you want to do is just like, oh my god, you know, like my baby, like, you know. And I felt bad, you know, because I blamed myself, and I was just like, I'm so sorry, like, I'm sorry. And she was just telling me like, you know, it's okay, it's not your fault, and she doesn't blame me. Like, you know, she was very supportive and stuff. But I also feel like she didn't really want to like talk about it. You know, she never wanted to talk about what happened, because I feel like she blamed herself, you know. But yeah, so that was like what it was like with my mom. Going home was really weird. Going home, it was so weird. It was like walking, it was like I walked home, like it was my home, like that was my bedroom and stuff, but I just didn't feel like the same person. Like it was a really weird experience, because it was like, this is my room, like, you know, it's how I left it and stuff, but I didn't feel the same, you know, coming back home. Like I just didn't feel like the same person that I left. You know, I felt like I came back and it really just changed my perspective. you know, I don't know, like it really like changed things dramatically. Like, I don't know if I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense, but it was just, yeah, it was like that. Nothing was the same. Like, I felt like, who am I? Like, I felt, you know, I didn't know who I was anymore. I felt like I felt lost. Yeah, I felt lost. And I felt alone because no one wanted to talk about it. You know, it was just like something bad happened, but it's not happening anymore, so we're gonna move on. But I still was affected by that. I didn't know at the time, but I had PTSD because of that, and nightmares and stuff. But I was really affected by that, and no one wanted to talk about it with me, and I didn't start the conversation either. So I'm not trying to put the blame on anyone, because I take responsibility, but I didn't, you know, talk about it either. So, you know, pretty much I was 12, and I felt like I didn't have anything in common with, you know, any of the other 12-year-olds that I used to hang out with. Of course, I wasn't a virgin anymore, so I didn't feel normal. Like, you know, like, it was really weird. Like, it was almost, I don't know how to really explain it, besides that I just did not feel like myself anymore, and I just felt like lost. I felt really lost internally. I felt like my internal compass was just somewhere else. Like, I was literally on a different planet, but I was still in the same. Yeah, it was a hell of an experience. So I got no therapy. I didn't have anyone to talk to or anything. Like, I just had all this shit just held inside of me. Like, you know, it was, I had all this anger and confusion and frustration, and I just held it in, and I didn't say anything, because I feel like no one opened that conversation with me. And I think that no one had that conversation with me because I never said anything about it. You know, it was just, I don't know, like, I don't have a time machine, so I can't go back and try to make it better, you know, but that's just how it was. That's just how it played out. I had PTSD, and my PTSD symptoms pretty much were like nightmares. I would have really bad nightmares. I would have these two reoccurring dreams, and it was about like windows. They weren't the same dreams, but they were both about windows. Like, the first dream, it was like I was at home and my window, like my bed used to be by my window, because you know how sometimes the windows are low to the, you know, I'm low, kind of close to the floor. And it was like really, like literally next to my bed. Like, the window was next to my bed, so I could sit and look out of my bed. And then there was this guy who used to come to my window. This is a dream. I'm not talking about, you know, reality. But there was a guy who used to come to my window, and I think we used to like flirt and stuff, and it was cool. And he used to always come back to my window. And then one day he came in, like, he broke in the window, and he like was trying to hurt me. Like, he grabbed me and he got on top of me, and he was intimidating me and stuff, and he pulled out a knife and he freaking cut my face. Like, he cut me from like my temple all the way to my chin. Once again, this is a dream. This is not, you know, reality. This was just a reoccurring dream that I kept having. And but yeah, he cut me really bad. And I remember, like, the dream, I could see myself, so it wasn't like me looking out, it was like me being someone else looking at me. And I could see the how horrible that scar looked, and it was stitched up, but it was just a really bad big scar. I remember after he cut me, I was rushing to go around the house and close the windows, and for some reason my bedroom window would not close, and it was a downward closing window, and I kept trying to close it, and for some reason it kept coming up. And I remember, like, in my dream, I boarded up the sliding door with furniture and stuff, and I was really traumatized. I remember that my mom was like in the kitchen. I think she was like doing dishes or cooking, and I was like literally at her feet, just like crying, you know, panicking, and I don't know, like, in that dream, like, kept coming back to me, and I would always wake up like, what the hell, you know, like, what the hell is that all about? And the other reoccurring dream was that I was watching these two girls. Yeah, I was watching these two girls, and put them in the room. They were sitting down watching TV. There was this big window. It was dark outside, so it was like you couldn't see out the window, but I'm sure that they can see in because, you know, the light is on the inside. But there was like no curtains or anything, just a big ass window. And then I walked out, you know, left the girls, walked out of the room, and I saw this poster on the wall that said, "Don't trust this man." And I thought to myself, like, didn't I just see that man outside that big ass window? And I ran back in there, and the window was open and the little girls were outside. And I looked, and he was like walking towards the little girls, and they were like cowering. They were scared of him. So I felt brave, and I jumped out the window, and I was like, "Hey," you know, like I screamed really loud. I was like, "Hey," you know, and I got his attention, and I was really brave. Like, you know, you're gonna hurt these little girls. And then the closer he got to me, I got scared, and I just got so scared, and then I felt like I was the little girl, you know, being scared. And then I just woke up because I was so scared. The closer he got to me, I got scared. So those were like two, you know, reoccurring dreams that I had. You know, that was like my PTSD symptoms, was, you know, those two reoccurring dreams. Hopefully that I didn't get too much into it, but I really just want to be thorough and share it with you guys because, you know, you guys really want to know more, and I don't mind, you know, helping other people. I don't mind, you know, telling my story in order to help others and help you feel encouraged to tell your story, and, you know, to just find some empowerment and liberation. And I don't know why my hand keeps doing that. I'm gonna make it stop doing that. As far as the PTSD symptoms, I started having panic attacks. I started having panic attacks. I started having anxiety. I experienced depression. I was unable to sleep. Like, either I was unable to go to sleep or I was sleeping like way too much. I wasn't eating. I lost a lot of weight, and I started to get like really angry. I started to have like anger outbursts. Like, I never like punched a hole in a wall or something like that, but excuse me, I would just get really angry. Like, I would just have these rage outbursts where I was just so angry. Like, I would just experience so much anger, like a really unhealthy, unnatural amount of anger. And I'm just gonna be brutally honest. I tried drugs. Yes, I tried drugs to try to help with the feelings, to try to help, you know, make the feelings go away and stuff. I didn't do any like crazy drugs like crack or heroin or nothing, you know, like that damn crazy, or meth or nothing like that. Like, I never did nothing like that, but I tried, you know, the common recreational drugs. I tried that, and, you know, I did get into that a little bit because I liked how it was an escape for me. I had a growing hatred for myself. I started to like just not like myself, and I think that's what made it so easy for me to do drugs, is because I didn't care about myself, because it was just like, I'm trash. Like, I don't feel like that now, but that's how I felt. I felt like I'm trash. Like, what worse could I do to me? You know, what more, did that make sense? What more could I possibly do? You know, that's how I felt, like, you know. Also, something I never really mentioned, I had been sexually abused by a family member prior to that happening, and the sexual abuse got worse because this family member knew for sure that I wasn't a virgin anymore, and I guess he felt more comfortable, you know, making advances at me. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a really messed up situation. Everything was just a downward spiral. Like, I'm sorry if you expected this to be a positive video. I'll be sure to put in the description box that, you know, there's trigger warnings and stuff. This is not a positive video. Like, after I got kidnapped and sold and I came home, my life was shit. For years, my life was shit. Like, it was shit. Like, I didn't just pick up the pieces and keep on going, and hell fucking no. Like, no, it was horrible. I was lost. I didn't know who I was. I was a shell of a person, you know? Yeah, I used to run away until the sun came up, and I really didn't even go anywhere. And this was like 13, 12, 13, 14. Like, I didn't even go anywhere. I used to just run away and just go like sit somewhere and just look up at the sky and just wonder, like, why? Like, just why? Like, just why? I would just wonder why. Like, I just would wonder why, and what am I supposed to do now? I just felt so gross in my own skin. I just felt like it wasn't good. I dropped out of high school because I just was all fucked up in the head. Like, I was a mess. I wasn't the same person I am today. Definitely wasn't the same person I am today. Like, I was a mess. I had no self-respect. I had no morals. I was lost. Like, I was a mess, you guys. I cried a lot. I cried a lot. And it wasn't just like regular crying, like tearing up. It was like painful crying. Like, it was painful. Like, I was crying out of pain, like emotional pain. It was just like painful crying. It was just like, it was bad. Like, I cry now sometimes when I get overwhelmed or something. Like, I cry, shed some tears, but it's just a little cry. It's one thing to have a little cry versus like painfully bawling. Like, I was in pain, you guys, and I was in pain. Like, oh my goodness, like, poor baby. I just didn't understand. I just did not understand. Like, I didn't understand. I didn't know how to talk to someone. No one in my family that I have seen ever had therapy, so I never knew, like, I never felt, I don't know, like, I never saw therapy as an option. Like, I never saw it as an option. It was never brought up to me or mentioned to me. And, as far as being in the Black community, like, the Black community, we don't really do a lot of therapy and stuff. I mean, yeah, the Black community, we have a lot of mental illness, and we have a lot of trauma and, stuff. We have a lot of bad stuff happen to us, and we aren't all mentally healthy, especially after going through certain experiences. But for some reason, it's so taboo to go seek help. You're supposed to just seem so strong, and I don't know, like, I just did not know that was an option. And this happened for 4 years. That's the last thing I wrote. This happened for 4 years. This downward spiral, it got worse every year. It got worse every month, actually. Like, it got bad. Like, it got really bad, you guys. And then one day I realized that this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, what am I doing? And not trying to sound like cocky or nothing, but the people I would hang around, like the losers, I'm not gonna just front, the losers I would hang around, I would just feel like I'm better than this. Not saying I'm better than a person, but I'm better than this. I'm better than this situation I'm putting myself in. I need to do better. And at that time when I was 17, I had my son. So I was like, no, I need to do better. Like, I need to be in a different position. I need to be a better mother. I need to be a better person to myself. And I checked myself into a group home. And that was like the best thing that ever happened to me. I'll get into more detail about that. I guess I'll be sure to like talk about the group home and stuff in my book. So yeah, I'm going to be writing some books and stuff to help you guys out. Because I know like sometimes you want more than just a video. Sometimes you want something physical. So definitely going to be writing a book. Keep a lookout for that. Books, like plural. And I mean, if there's anything you want me to talk about in those books, like leave it down below. I'm so open to comments and suggestions and stuff like that. Yeah, this is my video. It's not a happy video, so I'm sorry if you thought this was going to be a happy video, but it wasn't good. It wasn't a good experience after being kidnapped and sold. It was a downward spiral. Yeah. I know sometimes like being exposed to another person's experience somehow, you know, helps. And I do hope that this helps. I'm not making this video to try to be like super negative, but I just want to share with you the truth. You know, like I would be a straight up bullshitter if I sat here and said, oh yeah, it was fine, I was normal. No, I was fucked up. I was fucked up after that. That left me fucked up, like, for real. But I have a more positive video coming soon. It's going to be about, you know, how to cope, how I coped, and pretty much just giving you tips on things that worked for me. I already have it written down in my phone, so it's coming. But yeah, so sorry this video isn't really a super positive one, but I promise the next one will be. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you, boo. It's been real, and I'll see you in the next one.
How you feel? Used to trip out that shit I was